And actually, very kindly, Maharaj is going to chant the Sanskrit, the synonyms. He will read for us the translation and the purport in a very good British accent, not my French accent. However, Maharaj, the word is yours.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 23. You don't have it, I'll just read it through, correct?
Yes, Maharaj.
Jivan chavo bhagavatang virenam na jatu matyo vilaveta yasu Shri Vishnu padya manajastulasya sasham chavo yastu na veda gandam. Want me to read the word for word? Or
Yes.
the synonyms, please repeat. Jivan,
Jivan,
while living.
while living.
Shavaha,
Shavaha,
a dead body.
a dead body.
Bhagavata,
Bhagavata,
Ambrirenum,
Ambrirenum,
the dust of the feet
the dust of the feet
of a pure devotee.
of a pure devotee.
Na,
Na,
never.
never.
Jatu,
Jatu,
at any time.
at any time.
Machaha,
Matyaha,
mortal.
mortal.
Abilabeta,
Abilabeta,
particularly received.
particularly received.
Yaha,
Yaha,
a little bit louder, huh? A person.
a person.
Much better. Two. But. Shri. With opulence. Vishnu Padyaha. Of the lotus feet. Of Vishnu. Not Vishnu. Manu Jaha. A descendant of. Manu, a man. Where the English word man comes from Manu. Tulasyaha. Leaves of the Tulsi tree. Rishi Gaurnitai Krishna Bhagavan Giriraj Maharaj Shri Radha Govinda Madhavaki. Shvasan. While breathing. Shavaha. Still a dead body. Yaha. Who? Two. But. Naveda. Never experienced. Gandham. The aroma. This is a plan. You're going to keep asking me to carry on.
It's just so
It's only a 12-page purport.
it is so ecstatic that you cannot stop.
Tell me this stuff. All right, I'm your servant. Mondakini Mataji was the first devotee I ever saw. Wow. Blinded by the darkness of ignorance. I'd never seen a physical form of a devotee, to my knowledge, before. Maybe I've seen on TV. But not because they were Top of the Pops, 1970, Top of the Pops. Music program. You know, the record, the Hare Krishna record. The first time I came to the temple, I never met a devotee. I'd never seen them, anything. I had the address, I read a magazine, I came to the temple. It's a long story, I was wondering what to do. There was no sign on the door, what to do, there was no button to press. I was stood there a little bit bewildered. Big, kind of like a rather large wooden door. And I thought, okay, let me try it. There was nothing to turn. It was one of those push doors with a knob on. I started to push the door, and suddenly the door flew open. They didn't have these electronic doors in those days. And on the other side there was Mondakini opening the door to go out. She said, I can't say it in a French accent. I got no French accent at all. But she said something, oh, you've come just at the right time. The Sodom time. It was 1 o'clock midday. Of course, I knew what prasadam meant, obviously. Every English person knows what prasadam means. And then she took me down for lunch in the basement of Bury Place. So I have eternal gratefulness and debt to Mother Mondakini there. Opening the door, more or less. At least inviting me for prasadam. That's what conquered me on that first day with prasadam. They fed me 5 times that day with prasadam. It was finished by the end of the day. So translation and purport, I don't know if there is. See, I guess there's a purport, isn't it? Yes, there is. By His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotee upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulasi leaf from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the breathing dead body is a ghost. When a man dies, he is called dead. But when he again appears in a subtle form, not visible to our present vision, and yet acts, such a dead body is called a ghost. Ghosts are always very bad elements, always creating a fearful situation for others. You sure this is the lecture you want for Radhastami?
Yes, yes.
Okay. There's some dick somewhere on the line here. Similarly, the ghost-like non-devotees who have no respect for the pure devotees, nor for the Vishnu deity in the temples, create a fearful situation for the devotees at all times. The Lord never accepts any offering by such impure ghosts. There is a common saying that one should first love the dog of the beloved before one shows any loving sentiments for the beloved. The stage of pure devotion is attained by sincerely serving a pure devotee of the Lord. The first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be a servant of a pure devotee. And this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who has also served another pure devotee. That is the way of pure disciplic succession or devotional parampara. I don't know how many more pages there are, but we'll carry on. Should I carry on or not?
Yes, please.
Maharaj Rahugana inquired from the great saint Jud Bharat as to how he had attained such a liberated stage of a Paramahamsa. And in answer, the great saint replied, some of you may know this verse from the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 12, text number 12. It's quite a famous verse. It's a simple verse by Maharaj Prahlad. Uhuganaita tapasanayati nache jaya neva panad vihadva nachandasanaiva jalagni suryai vinamahat padarajobhishekam. O King Rahugana, the perfectional stage of devotional service, or the Paramahamsa stage of life, cannot be obtained or attained unless one is blessed by the dust of the feet of great devotees. It is never attained by tapasya, austerity, the Vedic worshipping process, acceptance of the renounced order of life, the discharge of the duties of household life, the chanting of the Vedic hymns, or the performance of penances in the hot sun, within cold water, or before the blazing fire. In other words, Lord Sri Krishna is the property of his pure, unconditional devotees, and as such, only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. Krishna is never obtainable directly. Lord Chaitanya therefore designated himself as, go, all together those who know it, Gopi Bhatu Padakamala Dasa Dasa Dasaha. That's from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 1380. Or, the most obedient servant of the servants of the Lord, who maintains the Gopi damsels at Vrindavan. A pure devotee, therefore, never approaches the Lord directly, but tries to please the servant of the Lord's servants, and thus the Lord becomes pleased, and only then can the devotee relish the taste of the tulsi leaves stuck to his lotus feet. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is never to be found by becoming a great scholar of the Vedic literatures, but he is very easily approachable through his pure devotee. In Vrindavan, all the pure devotees pray. Here it comes. In Vrindavan, all the pure devotees, pray for the mercy.
Pray for the mercy.
Guess who? The mercy of who? Srimati Radharani. This is where it comes in. The pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. It'll be 9 o'clock before we... You tricked us here. Come on, what are you doing? Srimati Radharani is a tender-hearted, feminine counterpart of the supreme whole, resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly, feminine nature. This applies everywhere, wherever we are. We take shelter of that mercy. Therefore, the mercy of Radharani is available readily, very readily, to the sincere devotees. And once she recommends such a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord at once accepts the devotee's admittance into his association. The conclusion is, therefore, that one should be more serious about seeking the mercy of the devotee than that of the Lord directly. And by one's doing so, by the good will of the devotee, the natural attraction for the service of the Lord will be revived. You want me to carry on? That's it, huh?
No, yes, unless you want.
Finish.
Okay.
Okay.
So, before starting, I'm begging the mercy of HG Mataji Prabhu, of Maharaj, of Almighty God, brothers and good sisters, and of all of you. And together we can say, Om Adganati Milandasya, Gyanam Shanam Salakaya, Shaksu Miditam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta, Swaminiti Namini, Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pachani, Nirvisesa Shunyavadi, Vashatya Krishnadini, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadara, Shivasadi Bhaktaveda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakarpatarubhyascha, Kripasindhubhya vacha, Patitanam Pavanibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, dear devotees, this verse is actually short and very rich, and the purport is very long and very rich. So many very, very important points Srila Prabhupada made before glorifying Srimati Radharani. So Prabhupada said that this body is actually dead when the spirit soul is not present in the body. And it's nothing else than a bundle of flesh and bones. If the soul is not there, the real person is actually the soul. And Prabhupada gives the example that we can see through our glasses, but we don't say that the glasses are seeing. It's I, it's we, actually the person who is seeing. He even said that if we accept the body as the self, we are as stupid, and a quote says, as the cow and the ass. And I was quite surprised. I never heard before Prabhupada saying that the cow is stupid. But he, we glorify the cow. But here he says, of course, the cow is really divine, but the cow is stupid. So then it goes on explaining that unless we do devotional service, the body is as dead as a ghost. If we don't smell the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotee, or the tulsi leaves stuck at the lotus feet of the Lord, or if we don't smell the flower like we are doing after Arctic, the flower that has been offered to the Lord. So we can see that in devotional service we become human beings by actually engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, smelling, touching, tasting, chanting, seeing. Then we are on the way of pure devotional service. And then what happens if we become perfect in all these activities? What happens?
We get the mercy of Krishna.
Well,
we get the mercy of Krishna.
Yes, definitely. Actually, then Krishna belongs to the pure devotee. Krishna becomes indebted, it belongs to the pure devotee. So, pure devotional service comes through the mercy of the pure devotee, through the mercy of the Acharya, for us, Srila Prabhupada, like we sing in the morning, Shasha Prashada, Bhagavad Prashad. So Srila Prabhupada goes on explaining that Krishna, the brother of Balaram, is a very, very big man. And it's very difficult to approach Krishna directly, because he's such a big person. And Prabhupada says, if we want to approach a big man, even in the material world, it's a very, very difficult thing. He gives the example in his time of somebody who was a very big man. He gives the example of Ford or Rockefeller. And he says it's very, very difficult to approach them. But if we see him in the street and he's walking his dog, if we have actually a sweet that costs €2 and we give the sweet to the dog, then the big gentleman Ford is actually very happy and he will speak to us. So he says it's the same if we want to please Krishna, we have to please his dog. And Srila Prabhupada says, I'm actually the dog of Krishna. And he says also, I'm the pet dog of my spiritual master. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So then the purport goes on glorifying Srimati Radharani. So we know Srimati Radharani is the pleasure potency of Krishna. Again, Srila Prabhupada explains to us that Krishna is full, he is completely self-satisfied, but still to experience perfect happiness is actually expanding into others. So he tells, for example, Prabhupada says, I'm speaking, but if there is nobody in the room, I won't derive I won't relish it, but if I have so many nice devotees in front of me, it will be a wonderful exchange. So Krishna is expanding in many ways. He's expanding as different tattva, the Vishnu tattva and the Shakti tattva. His three qualities of Satchit Ananda, he has expansion for them. So Sat, it's actually Sat, Samvit, it's the energy of cognizance by Krishna himself. And Sandini, it's represented by Srila Balaram, and the Ladini, or pleasure-giving potency, is represented by Srimati Radharani, whose appearance day will be tomorrow. So, Srimati Radharani, she's known for many, many qualities, but we see especially two big qualities that she's manifesting. Do you want to have a guess? Compassion. Yes, compassion, very important one. And
Sweetness.
She is, but a very main quality.
Courage, power.
Man, it's a quality for pastime. No, actually, the other quality is that she has a very exclusive, pure desire to serve Krishna. No other desire, that's the goal of her life. And we know that when we hear the beautiful 8 verses left by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sishastakam. And one of the last verses illustrates that point. If actually Krishna is happy to see me in a terrible suffering, that distress is actually my greatest happiness. It's very, very elevated. Of course, we cannot imitate artificially. It's described in the 4th chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila. So there is a very beautiful verse in one of Rupa Goswami's plays called Lalita Madhava. And Srimati Radharani is expressing herself in a poetic way. She says that when she dies, but of course she will never die in the spiritual world, but it is explained by great devotees that in Vrindavan, sometimes the Krishna and his associates, they play the role of human-like behavior. So Srimati Radharani is not going to die, but she says, when I die, like in the spiritual world, they have no demons, but there are rumors of demons. So that the gopis or the inhabitants of Vrindavan can feel some fear, and while feeling fearful, they're asking Krishna's protection. So she says, when I will die, I will like the material elements of my body to be merged. And she says, I want the earth's element to merge with the earth, so that the dirt will be very soft. And when Krishna will walk on it, it will be so soft. I will be serving him in that way. She says also, I want the water of my body to be merged into the Yamuna. So when Krishna will go and sport in the Yamuna, I will still serve him. And she goes on like that. She goes through all the elements. Then she expresses herself. If I die, Krishna will be unhappy. So I cannot die, because I don't want him to be unhappy. And then, as Prabhu was actually saying, the other quality, great quality, is actually a compassion. And it's a very important quality for us in this world, because we are always begging for mercy. And she has compassion for all living beings. Actually, Srimati Radharani, she's the one who knows the best Krishna. She knows the desire of Krishna. And Krishna's desire is to reclaim all the suffering conditioned souls. So when somebody comes to the platform of become very advanced in pure devotion, she's pushing that soul in front of Krishna. She's saying, look, the devotee is much better than me. So please, Krishna, be merciful unto him, unto her. And we know the story. It's a very famous story. And maybe Malati was around, I'm not sure. Correct me, dear Malati, if there is any mistake I make. And so it was, I heard, after a pandal, maybe in Mumbai or Delhi, I don't know. Prabhupada, the pandal gathered many thousands of guests, who were naturally inclined towards hearing about Krishna. Then it was a success. Then Prabhupada came out of on the Vyasasana, on the stage, and a few devotees were around him. So Prabhupada looked at the devotees full of compassion, and he said, because we heard, in order to go back to Krishna at the time of death, we have to be 100% Krishna conscious. But then Prabhupada very mercifully looked and said, even if you are 90% Krishna conscious, it's all right, you will go back home, back to Godhead. It means if you have a little material attachment left, by the mercy of the spiritual master. It was very special that he said that, because in the scriptures it has to be not the single material attachment. Then devotees at the time, devotees were not always very obedient to Srila Prabhupada, you know. And they said, Prabhupada, it's not possible. We cannot make it. We will never go back home, back to Godhead. Then Prabhupada says, all right, 80%. You can go back home, back to Godhead. And again, the devotees protested. Prabhupada, it's not possible. We won't reach. What are we going to do? And I heard them. They said, okay, 70%. But it was his last word. And the devotees went like, Jai, Jai, Jai. But then there was a poor devotee. His face was still very, very sad. When Prabhupada was alone, he came near him. And he said, Srila Prabhupada, even 70% I won't be able to do. So Prabhupada looked at him with full compassion. He says, do not worry, you just hold on my dhoti. And I have the key to the back door. You will come in. And he said, it's my duty. I take you by the hand and I introduce you to Krishna. But of course, dear devotees, we shouldn't count on that causeless mercy. We have to do everything we can, because one time Prabhupada said, all the sacrifices I made, if I can just make a pure devotee, that would be worthwhile. So all of us, although it seems impossible, we are hoping against hope, then to please Srila Prabhupada and our dear Gurudev, we can become that one devotee who will become a pure devotee. So there is a story showing the compassion of Srimati Radharani. It's a famous story, maybe you heard it. Who heard a very compassionate story about Srimati Radharani? About with an animal. Yes, it's a story about the jackal. As we are told, Srimati Radharani's heart is always at the same time full of love, melted with love for Krishna, and often love, painful love, love in separation. But at the same time, she's able to express feelings, concern, and compassion for all the living beings. And it's very difficult. I don't know, you probably experience. You might have a very difficult time, a very severe pain. And somebody will approach you. Will you take the time actually to care about that other person? Or will you tell the person, just leave me alone for now? I'm in great pain, great anxiety. Leave me alone, I come back to you later. But it's not the case of Srimati Radharani. Then there was this jackal. And you have maybe seen in India jackal or heard the jackals at night. They're considered very low species of life, even lower than the dog. You know, nobody will actually glorify somebody by calling him a jackal. How can we glorify someone by giving quality of an animal? Swan. Swan. Yeah. So which quality, the swan?
Loyalty. Loyalty.
Loyalty. The swan?
Loyalty. The dog, Prabhupada said the dog is very loyal to his master.
The dog, yeah. The dog, loyal. The swan is purity. Any other quality?
Elegance. Elegance.
Oh yes, like who? Like the swan? Yeah. Here it is also sometime when Krishna and Balaram, they come to Mathura. people can see how majestic they are, like an elephant, very strong, very powerful. But a jackal, no. It won't be a compliment. So some children, I guess it's for the sake of Lila, because it was in the spiritual world, near Radakund, or maybe it was in the material world, I'm not sure. They saw the jackal, and they started to chase the jackal. And they were not friendly. They wanted to make fun of him. So he went in a hole. Then the children put some straw, and they put fire. And the jackal started to scream. It was hot. He was actually fearing for his life. And the children were laughing. They wanted him to come out and to run after him. But Srimati Radharani, she heard that scream. And she became so compassionate. She told her friends to actually go and get the jackal. Then she put it on her lap and she patted the head of the jackal. She gave him pure love of God by doing so. So compassion is just limitless. And always, even if she's disturbed. So for us, it's very, very important, that compassion. How can we, so she's the mother of devotion. We pray to Srimati Radharani. We pray to reach, actually, Krishna's grace when we chant Hare Krishna. So who can manifest the mercy of Srimati Radharani? How can we see in this world the mercy of Srimati Radharani manifested?
The spiritual master?
Yes, the spiritual master, the pure devotee. Actually, the whole paramparal system, that mercy of Radharani is manifested to all the spiritual master, all the acharya. And if we don't serve the pure devotee, there is no hope of pleasing Krishna. You know, because we remember in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna expressed that he's pleased if we please his pure devotee. So, of course, Srila Prabhupada is exhibiting that mercy of Srimati Radharani so wonderfully by his preaching mission. If he didn't have that compassion, he wouldn't have come to this Western world. You know, when he came, do you remember when he came? He just, at the first sight, he saw that people were covered by the modes of passion and ignorance. He thought they will never understand the message of Krishna. But then he said, my dear Lord, you want them to understand. You have some purpose in bringing me here. So, if you want, my dear Lord, please make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. And he became a true, perfect instrument of the mercy of Krishna and the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So here, there is a story that was given by Giriraj Swami. It was in the year 1990. It was during Kumbh Mela in Nasik. Like there is big Kumbh Mela, like the Maha Kumbh Mela we just had recently in Prayag. But they have little Kumbh Mela in different places. So here there was a Kumbh Mela in Nasik. And Maharaj came and he was told, actually there is a very, very holy person in Nasik. He's very saintly, very advanced, and he loves the devotee. You should visit him. So he went to visit him. That devotee was called Dinabandhu Maharaj. And he told that he knew Srila Prabhupada a long time before he came to the West. He knew him in Vrindavan. So when Prabhupada told him he was preparing to leave Vrindavan to go to America, Dinabandhu Maharaj told him, no, you shouldn't leave Vrindavan. This is not a good idea at all that you are leaving Vrindavan. You should stay here, you should teach Shastra, and you should practice devotional service, but never leave Vrindavan. Of course, Prabhupada didn't listen to him for a good fortune, and he came to the West, he preached, then he returned to India with the first devotees from America in Europe, and our dear Marathi Prabhu was part of this team of white elephants. Maybe you can tell us after some things. You were about 20 of you, isn't it, at that time?
Like when we left?
When you, Prabhupada called you and the other devotees.
Yeah, there were 10 adults, typed names, and then in his handwritten name, Baby Saraswati. So there were 11 of us. 11.
Oh, the 11 only?
11.
Wow, 11.
Then others were coming afterwards.
Then others were coming after. It started with 11 blessed devotees. Prabhupada was taking them to India to show the Indian people that this young American and European, they have all the material comfort, but they are looking towards actually your treasure, the Vedic wisdom, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So then he went to Nasik and he met again Dinabandhu Maharaj. So he says, I'm very surprised, dear Dinabandhu Maharaj, you left Vrindavan. So Maharaj told him, you know, my Guru Maharaj, he had an ashram in Nasik, and he needed someone to look after the ashram. So I left Vrindavan out of obedience for my spiritual master, order. So Prabhupada smiled and he says, oh, I see, now you understand me, why I left Vrindavan. And Dinabandhu Maharaj said, yes, now I understand. And he told Giriraj Swami, it was Prabhupada's mercy and compassion that brought him to the Western world. And we can understand it is actually Srimati Radharani's mercy directly. So I know here we have a lot of book distributors, many of you very sincerely and lovingly are distributing Srila Prabhupada books. We have the example of dear Aristanasana, who just, I think a few years ago, revived that compassion he had to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. So, by the mercy of Maharaj. Maharaj is very merciful, very encouraging. So it's how we should all be encouraging each other. Then we will become, we can do wonderful miracles under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada. So we can see that Srila Prabhupada books, they are also completely filled with the compassion and the mercy of Srimati Radharani. You know, one devotee shared, actually Srimati Radharani's heart was placed in Srila Prabhupada's books through the Parampara. So when we give people Srila Prabhupada books were giving Srimati Radharani love and compassion to them. It can completely transform their life. There was one devotee, Sankirtan devotee, book distributor, who heard that Srila Prabhupada said, just if you touch my books, if they touch my books, their life will change. So the book distributor was approaching everyone. A man gave a big donation, but he didn't want the book. So the devotee was begging him, please, please, take the book, take the book. No, I don't need your book. I just like you people. So I give you some big donation. And then he remembered that statement. So he says, all right, you don't take the book, but touch my book. and the man touched the book. So maybe 15 minutes later, the man came back and he said, actually, I'm going to buy your book. It must be very interesting, like that. So all of us, we are beggars. And especially tomorrow, we are going to beg for the mercy of Srimati Radharani. But what is that mercy that she gives us through Srila Prabhupada and through our present spiritual master? How she gives us the mercy?
That we can let Krishna?
Yes, but how can we reach that?
Through service.
Yeah. That mercy is actually devotional service. And I remember, yes, talk loud. No, you want to say something? You want to say, no, you want to say something? No, okay. So she gives us the mercy through devotional service. And there is a story told this time by Radhanath Swami. He was with Janadivas Prabhu, who is, you remember, one of the twin pujaris, very saintly pujaris in Mayapur. And he was talking to Janadivas. At that time, Janadivas Prabhu had been for 17 years a pujari at that time. And he asked Janadivas, have you been to Varshana, to Vrindavan? And Janadivas Prabhu said, no, I never left Mayapur. He said, really, you didn't go to Varshana? How come? He said, when I went to Mayapur, I wanted to visit all the holy dham. But actually, I was engaged in service. I didn't have time. And after, I thought again about it a few years later. But I was so engaged in service. And then all the time passed. So he said, nobody asked me to go, and I continued serving. So we can understand that this is the mood of Varshana, of Srimati Radharani, to give us service so that we can approach Krishna. Like that. So we can remember the example of Janadivas Prabhu, very holy. He came to New Mayapur. He came. Okay. So I'm going to conclude because time is running very fast as always. It's a story. I don't have any scriptural information, but because it was told by Gauranga Prabhu, I trust him. So I will tell the story. You know Gauranga Prabhu, huh? Very, very wonderful devotee. So it's a story also in glorification of Srimati Radharani. And it shows Krishna, how Krishna is very tricky. So it's a story told by Lalita Devi to the other gopis. She's telling the story of Lord Rama. She said, once upon a time there was a great king, Lord Ramachandra. And his wife's name was Sita Devi. She got kidnapped by Ravana. So Rama and Lakshman, they wanted to find Mother Sita. And finally, they heard from Jatayu that she had been kidnapped by Ravana and taken to Lanka. So finally, we know the story. The monkeys came and they helped Lord Rama to build the bridge to go to Lanka. And then Krishna was around. So Krishna said, well, for your information, my dear gopis, I'm the same Lord Ramachandra. So do not fear, I'm still here, the same Ramachandra. So the gopis and Lalita and Devi said, oh, how are you the same Ramachandra? Lord Ramachandra could actually build a bridge with floating stones to go all the way over the ocean to Lanka. I'm not sure you can do that. And Lord Ramachandra had only one wife. And look at you, all of us, the gopis around you. You are not Lord Ramachandra. So Krishna said, as far as the bridge is concerned, I have no problem, I will show you. And then he said, and as far as one wife, I'm only devoted to one person, that is Shrimati Radharani. So and you see, I'm Ramachandra, the same personality. So the gopis said, okay, or they don't say okay, they say, all right. So show us how you are going to build the bridge. Can you make the bridge just over the small pond? So Krishna immediately called some people. Who did he call? No. He called the monkeys. And what were the monkeys doing in Vrindavan? Yeah. So he told them, you know, all day you eat butter, you eat milk, you drink milk and yogurt. Do something useful. Come and bring me stones. So all the monkeys came and they brought so many stones on the bank of the pond. And then Lord Krishna brought one stone and he started to concentrate and pray. And he says, if my love is exclusively for Srimati Radharani, may these stones float over the pond. The gopis were holding their breath. What's going to happen? And what did happen? Yeah, the stones floated because Krishna's words were true. Her love was exclusively for Srimati Radharani. But of course, he loves also everybody. But the purest love with a big L was for Srimati Radharani. Haribo, Srimati Radharani, Kitchad. So, dear devotees, if you want to make any comment or ask, please.
We have not more than 5 minutes because
please.
They have to clear out the temple and we will have to be out of the building supposedly by 9 o'clock unless we have service.
Okay. So we want to speak for 5 minutes.
What about the devotees living in the chateau? What do they do? And Africa? Many of our guests are living in the chateau. What are they supposed to do?
We use the small entrance and they try to keep the castle tidy afterwards.
So keep out of the reception area, is that the idea? Don't float around in the reception area if you are living in the chateau. There's a back You mean the back staircase? They should use the back staircase?
Not to hang around the ground floor. So it's
Try not to hang around the ground. Don't hang around the ground floor of the castle. The chateau.
breakfast will be served in the tent.
Pardon?
Breakfast will be served in the tent.
Breakfast prasad will be served in the tent. So you are allowed to go upstairs if you live there. I guess you try to use the back staircase. Bear in mind, it's very important, the impression of our local dignitaries, etc. in our growth here in New Michael. We really need to make a good relationship. So please bear that in mind. We'll be moving the Bhagavatam table, I don't know where, we'll be moving it somewhere. Maybe you can carry it.
Like the monk.
Mobile Bhagavatam table.
So should we close now?
Yeah, we
So
better.
thank you very much, Malachi Prabhu, Maharaj, all the dear good brothers, for your patience. Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Shrimad Radharani Ki Jai, Shrimad Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Please take all of your possessions when you leave. Last night we collected up quite a few things, mobile phones, socks, coats, all kinds of things. We managed to collect last night. It's good for the funding. You can, recycle.
A quick announcement. Because there's been a change of schedule about tonight's film, not the Nrishinga one. It's called Around the Hill, the Giridash Parikrama. It's been released very recently. You haven't seen it unless you were here for Balaram. And it's amazing. It explores the concept of going around the sacred hill. It's got lots of testimonies from locals and also interviews with the authorities from the Gaudiya as well as other Vaishnava Sampradayas. So don't miss it. It's going to be tonight at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m., not 6. And it will be here, not in the yoga hall. Thank you very much. Hare
Krishna. Please don't leave it. Quick announcements. Breakfast will be served in the tent. It's going to be cold, so please take some warm clothes with you.
Thank you, Mother.
And please take a plate from the... May I have your attention, please? Please, attention. 1 minute and you can go. Just 1 minute.
1 minute, Prabhu! Please be quiet, stay still.
Just 1 minute and then you can go for breakfast. Warm clothes, outside is cold, so please take warm clothes with you. And second thing, please take a plate from the castle. There's no plates outside for your breakfast.
They should bring them back in the castle.
No, please leave them, wash them and leave them outside the castle where we're going to take breakfast now. We need help in the kitchen. There's not many kitchen helpers. The helpers are taken to some other services, so there's nobody to help. Please, we need your help to cook lunch for devotees. Anything else? Yeah, we need 2 devotees to clean the temple room. This is Lord's mercy that whoever would like to volunteer. Very rare opportunity. You can clean Krishna's temple this morning. Thank you. Rasikananda Prabhu is here. Anybody would like to go in the kitchen or clean the temple room, you can see Rasikananda Prabhu.
Anyone who wants to get Radharani's mercy, put your hands up. Anybody who wants Radha's mercy? Not many of you want the mercy.
No mercy.
So the kitchen, Radharani's in the kitchen, she's in the temple room. You said you want her mercy, you better speak. You talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Rasikananda, see him for service, please.
Don't forget to take your plate. Warm clothes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.